More than a dot, more than a dot.
Welcome to More Than a Dad podcast. I'm your host, Lou Mobley. I'm joined by the coolest guy on earth, Dre Moore.
What's good, y'all?
And we are the Philadelphia Dad Pod.
For sure.
You know what I mean? We here, bro. We want to shout out East Orange, New Jersey.
Hey, where's that at?
Like North Jersey.
I only heard like Joe Budden and them make jokes about it.
Listen, we got listens coming in there from there, so we appreciate all the
Oh
love.
yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, we want to get to this Fast Five.
What's good, bro? What's up? Where we at? What we doing today?
Oh man, we're gonna do your favorite dunks in the NBA. All right, DeAndre Jordan over Brandon Knight, or LeBron James over Jason Terry?
I'm probably gonna have to go LeBron over Jason Terry. That jump was nasty. How like they had him running in circles,
just through the lob up.
Yeah, through the lob just to get woofed on and then look down on. It's crazy.
That's a good jump.
DeAndre Jordan though, that jump was nasty. He caught a body.
Michael Jordan over Patrick Ewing, or Kobe Bryant over Dwight Howard?
I would have to go Mike over Pat, only because the Kobe on Dwight is nasty, but Mike the fake out and then going baseline and the way he woofed that joint on Pat, that was nasty.
Vince Carter over Alonzo Mourning, or Dwayne Wade over Anderson Varejao?
I'm probably gonna go Vince over Zoe, only because he took the bump to the side and then caught that joint back, and still the D Wade joint is nasty though, because they was like head up, they was like chest to chest. But I'm gonna go Vince over Alonzo.
D Rose dunks on Goran Dragic, and Allen Iverson put back on Marcus Camby.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. I'm gonna go D Rose over Dragic. It's just because he would, because Camby, but I don't. No, I'm gonna go AI over Marcus Camby, just because like you wasn't expecting that, and he's smaller. He's probably under 6 foot. Like the jump up and wolf on the back of his damn near 7-footer. Yeah, I'm gonna go AI over Camby.
Sean Kemp over Alton Lister, or Baron Davis over Andre Karolinko?
I think I'm gonna go Sean Kemp. Only because after he woofed on boy, he was all pointing at Cuz while he was on.
Oh, that's that clip.
Yeah, that clip, the joint where Sean Kemp banged on the ball and then did the double point at Cuz on the ground.
How do you feel though, like about like the ones you actually seen with your eyes in live time and prime time of their life versus like things we have to look back in history and like, oh yeah, Sean Kemp did do this to somebody in '93.
I mean, the ones that we seen probably like mean a little more. Just because like you seen it, like you always gonna remember where you was at, what you was doing the first time you seen like a crazy moment or a crazy play. Like you always gonna remember those things. Like but some things, when you look back on it, it's like we didn't see the Jordan shot over Elo in like live time for real. But it's an iconic moment. Like for us, like like I was watching that Cleveland series against the Magic when LeBron hit that 3.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they lost the series, but like those type of things, like even like the dunk on Jason Terry when they threw the ladder, like I was watching that when it happened, bro. So like They do hold like a little bit more of a special place, but some things is just like timeless. Like when you see Vince jump over the ball in the Olympics,
Yep.
like we wasn't really watching it, but you go back and see it, like it's still like it is what it is.
No, I feel like it's just different. Like I was watching the Malice in the Palace like live.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like I know a lot of people recorded the next day on Sports Center like, yo, it all broke loose. But like when the Pistons,
You got the uncensored before they cut the
yeah,
feed.
and the Pacers fighting the fans and all that, I watched that in live time, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, things is different when you watch it, when you actually watch it happen. For real, for real.
Yeah, I mean, I think what also solidifies a lot of these guys is like they go on to be Hall of Famers and like the world recognizes them, and then it's like their highlights, right?
Absolutely.
And then it's like, why do we even care about these people from back then? But then like the current people normally pay homage or they're referred to or compared to. You know what I
Right.
mean? So,
No, it's definitely a joint.
man, how's dad life, man? This is more than a dad, man. Got to talk some dad stuff.
Dad life is good right now. Ashton making a lot of progress in school. So that's like been like a big thing lately. His behavior has like been like turned around like 100%. Like he don't he really don't really have like bad days in school no more. Like where he was having days where like he really couldn't get through the day without like it being a phone call or it being an incident, or like it was times I had to go up there and sit in the classroom, during the day. Now it's like, he in the class, he do his work. He don't really let other kids like bother him. Like it's like night and day. Like talking to his teachers, it's like a whole different kid kind of.
What has changed? What has made his behavior improve like this?
I think just the structure, of the new school that he goes to, like in the routine, and just people being like, like familiar with him and, familiar with like his shortcomings and stuff like that, and working with him, and like a lot of people just being hands on with him. And I think some of it is just like maturity. Like he's just growing. So like a lot of things he's getting more comfortable with. Like I think like school was a big thing he was uncomfortable with in the beginning because he wasn't familiar with it. So like when it started, it was like, oh, I'm used to playing all day, or like I come from daycare where we played all day and they had naps. He don't really do well with like transition. So it was a big thing to like go into a regular school where you sit here and you do work majority of the day, and like everybody got to stay on task, and you can't get up and play, and you can't, even in kindergarten, like you can't get up and play. Like they don't have nap time no more. And I think it was just different. And he was like, at the time, I think he was just trying to find a way to like get out of doing work and manipulate it because that's what he was comfortable with. So like he know like if I act out and I don't listen, they're not gonna make me do the work, or they just gonna let me go play, because that's what was happening as original school. He'd flip a desk or throw his supplies, and they would just take him out the classroom to like another little like calm down area, but like in the area it was like a trampoline and stuff like that. So it's like if I flip the desk, I'm gonna go to the trampoline room. So I'm gonna flip the desk every day because I don't want to do the work. Whereas though, like now at his new school, they accommodate him better. So like they work. He might do work for 20 minutes and then they break for 15, where they might do like a little activity. Maybe they play, do certain things, and then they go back to doing work. And now it's so much so where like he spends most of his time that was in like his little emotional support classroom, but now he spends most of his time in his general education classroom where they don't have the breaks and all of that stuff built in, and he's just in there doing the work. So like I think he's just gotten a lot more comfortable with it.
Well, I'm happy for you, man. I'm happy for Ash, man.
It is light at the end of the tunnel. It was dark times, man, dark days. I'm telling you, man.
Bro, I would be on the phone with you and you be like, man, hold up, man. This Ash school calling me again.
Yeah. They was going crazy. Like it was just like, man, I gotta work. Like y'all can't. And then like me working overnight, like I'd be trying to sleep while he in school. Like, can you imagine like you get up, you drop him off at school, or he catch the bus to school, and he only in school because in Delaware County they only got half day kindergarten, so he's in school for 3 hours. So he's in school from 8:30 to like 11:30. Can you imagine like you trying to take like a 3 hour nap because you done worked all night, and like now they can't even handle him for 3 hours. So now they're gonna call you and wake, like you got to get back up and come up to the school and sit up there. Like it's been times like it's like you got to come up here and get him out of early. Like you got to get him out early from like the half day kindergarten. It's crazy. So like, yeah, it was just like it was a whole big thing. So it was just like,
Imagine paying for that. Look, I'm paying for y'all to watch him for 3 hours, man. You got to come up and get him, man. Yo, it's only 50 minutes into the 3 hours.
yeah, it was like ridiculous, and it's crazy because like me and his mom had went through the whole process with the school in the beginning before we got there. Like, we didn't like send him in there blind. Like, we didn't just like, oh, just throw our kid in there. Like, we had like scheduled meetings. We had a meeting with everybody, and we was telling them everything. You know, like, this is what he don't like. Yeah, he struggled with transitions. He can act out. He could do this. Like all of these things. He could be aggressive at times. We gave him the whole rundown. Like, and they was like, yeah, we can handle it. And that was in like August, and then like September, it's like, oh yeah, we can't handle that. Like, they was calling every day, like, yo, what y'all thought it was a joke? Like, y'all thought we was making this up? Like, we gave y'all the blueprint. We told y'all this is exactly what it is, but I guess you don't really know till you see it. And then once you see it, then it's like, oh, we couldn't handle it. But they got him to a place that can accommodate him, so it's cool.
No, man. Dad life for me, man. It's been an interesting like 2 weeks, bro.
Thanks.
To say the least, man. It's been real tough. I don't know where to start. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just tell the story here because I get tired of like telling everybody what's going on with my daughter, like
Right.
individually. You know what I mean? Like,
Now we could just be like, yo, go listen to the pod.
yeah, go listen to the pod, man.
It's gonna add up some listens.
So also, so what was it like? I want to say like 2 Thursdays ago.
Yeah, something like that.
2 Thursdays ago, she was having like breathing issues when she was sleeping, and I was like, it was triggering me because I grew up like heavy and asthma and like I relate to all that breathing,
Right.
snoring, the whole thing. And I was like, yo, I think she having an asthma attack or something. And I was kind of like antsy because like she can't tell you that she's struggling to breathe. She just looked like
Right.
she's struggling to breathe, and she had like a real like like that type of windpipe be, you know what I'm saying, like sound, right? So somehow she survived the night, and we don't take her. And we go Friday morning. My wife took her to a family doctor to see her physician. They prescribe her a steroid. They call it like croup, and it's basically like an infection of the windpipe, But if it was like an adult, the infection would just make you lose your voice, and you'll get your voice back in a day or so, right?
Right.
So anyway, in kids, it restricts the air pipe. It causes you to sound like you, like that type of noise.
Right.
Anyway, they give her a steroid, so we handle it on Friday. We give it to her Friday. We give it to her Saturday, and all weekend she kind of like less than her normal self.
Right.
So Sunday, it all got real bad. Like she was like having a hard time, like kind of like walking, like not confident walking back down the steps. Like my daughter like 21 months.
Right.
She normally go up and down the steps. She running. She eat a whole lot. She had no problem using no bathroom, no nothing.
Right.
Sunday night, she just was like tossing and turning. She was just breathing like that. It was scaring me. And I was thinking in my head, like, I'm going to take her to the ER. But in the morning, my wife called her family doctor, like, yo, when these steroids supposed to kick in?
Right.
They're like, they didn't kick in already? She was like, take her to the ER. So we rushed her to Bryn Mawr Hospital. And they treating her in the ER. They get her right to a room. They admit her to the hospital. And while they treating this croup, they found out she had pneumonia in her chest on like her right lung or something like that.
Right.
So now we got like a respiratory infection along with the whatever's going on with your windpipe. And we just in the ER, and I'm thinking, all right, well, she's sick, she's fighting a respiratory infection, she got pneumonia, cool. It's like, that all makes sense.
Right.
But by like, I guess like the Tuesday, Wednesday, they like, it's worse than that. It's like, yeah, we don't even have the capacity to treat what she may have. I'm like, what you mean? And they was like, yo, she don't have no reflexes in her legs. I think she having a neurological response to being sick. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. We came here for her breathing funny.
So I don't know what that means.
Like, I don't know what that means. Like we came here because she was breathing funny, which means her legs
don't work.
You know what I mean? She's not giving you guys no reflexes in her legs when you were hitting. What does that mean? And they were like, we're going to transfer you to, like, what?
Right.
Which is, She was like, they have neurological teams, a respiratory specialist, and all the specialists you guys would need for her recovery. I'm like, recovery? Like, how long you thought we was going to be here?
Right. They transported in an ambulance?
Yeah. So they transferred the ambulance on like Thursday.
Y'all rode with her? Well,
my wife rode with her.
Yeah.
And they transferred her down there. And they run MRIs on her brain, her spine. Don't find nothing. They do a spinal tap. I had to watch them give my daughter a spinal tap and look at the fluids that was coming out of her spine. And they basically confirmed that she had an autoimmune disorder. How do you pronounce it?
Guillain-Barré syndrome.
Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is an autoimmune disease that causes like temporary paralysis. Basically, it starts in your lower body and works its way up. So that was the reason why she wasn't walking. That's the reason why she wasn't having reflexes in her legs. And all the while, she's still having these respiratory issues.
Right.
So on Friday, they had to like put her on a ventilator because her breathing was so out of control and out of rhythm and like overworking. Like they found like all these proteins and stuff in her like in her blood, not proteins, acid in her blood and stuff, like lactic acid that we give off if we was exercising. So imagine, she been in the bed for 5 days. Why does she have lactic acid?
Because
that just shows that our lungs and stuff was working real hard. So for like 2.5 days, I had to watch them sedate my daughter and have her on her breathing tube. So I'm going in there, like, and it was getting very eerie. Like, my daughter, like, daddy, da. You know what I mean? She's very mama, like, eat. She's talking a lot, you know what I mean? It's like, we going up there and sitting in silence.
Right.
And you sitting there, and you just don't associate ventilator with like anything positive. Somebody's a vegetable, they got to pull the plug. You just don't. It's just not a good
ventilator, and that don't go hand in hand.
It's not a good visual. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, and one thing that they said, like, do me a favor. A parent's worst nightmare could just be Googling the syndrome, because then you're gonna hear about all the worst cases and the range of, and the fact that this syndrome is so rare and it's triggered by, you fighting certain viruses like pneumonia or flu or any other respiratory, that's what triggers it. So basically the correlation between not walking and you already fighting a respiratory or some type of virus is the perfect storm for this syndrome to kick in. And anyway, she finally is able to get off the ventilator on like Sunday. So, in her first couple of days, she just got better and better every day. So like at this point, she's sitting up by herself. She's talking. She's still under oxygen. She's just not on a ventilator. She can't eat, so she still has a feeding tube in. And she's talking and she's moving and she's using her limbs, but she hasn't walked.
Right.
So that's where we are. So just everybody sending concerns, because I get like weird, like, people inquiring. I'm happy that people love my daughter enough or love me enough or my wife enough to reach out and stuff, but haven't been able to get back to everybody on a one-on-one basis and like really break it down. Like even me saying that vague thank you on Instagram was like intentionally vague.
Right. Yeah.
You know what
absolutely.
I mean? But a lot of people are concerned, and I think like in time, it was happening to me in live time. I didn't have the energy.
Yeah, sometimes we just don't have the capacity to just. You can't deal with this and deal with having to explain it to everybody.
Right.
Like, you get overload.
Yeah. So I don't know. I thought it was interesting because like just in experiencing this in this 2 weeks, I've already found 2 other people who have experienced it, but it's so rare, right? So you were one of the first people I reached out to. Because you said that your dad
my dad went through it when I was 10. He was he had it, and like when I was explaining to you, like it started off like in the same way. It started with his legs. He couldn't stand up, and like he was in the hospital. He just couldn't get up, and then like it just gradually went to like, oh, he can't move at all, and then he can't talk. And he didn't really have no functions other than like nodding his head. For like a long time, for like months. He was in the hospital from like January to like May before he went to rehab. But he probably wasn't talking from like January to like April or something like that. Like it was a long time. He just wasn't he wasn't saying nothing. And it happened real fast. Like I told you, like it was like real quick. Like it just went bang, 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 and then like he just was in here. He had the trach in his neck. Because once you know, like once you know, like you need oxygen long term, they gonna give you a trach. Because it's different than like trying to force it in through your face. I guess it's more like
efficient.
yeah, more efficient. So yeah, it was that's why I was just telling you, like, man, you're just gonna have to ride it out. Like, that was like I said, that was like 20 years ago. So, I know technology and all that stuff was different. Like we had came up with stuff on our own, and they're like they didn't like give us the like dry erase board to write stuff on. Like that was just something that like me and my mom was doing so we could communicate. He could nod his head, like, so it was just like, oh, we'll write this, and then we could understand, like what you want. So like technology and all that stuff was different. It was just like a whole different thing. It was and it's crazy because like in all of this time, he's the only person I ever known to have it.
Right.
Until you had said it that when you put it in the group chat that day, I'm like, that's crazy. So like, and that's how rare it is. Like, it's just funny that it's that rare, but like we this close, but it's extremely rare because like I don't know nobody else that had it. And if I talk to people, like people be like, what? And like they never heard of it. Like I've never told anybody about my dad and that happening and was like, oh, I heard of that before. I know what that is.
Right.
This has never happened.
No, it's just
You said you had knew somebody else?
yeah. So my the production executive that I work with at work, I was telling him because he was concerned about my daughter, and then I started to explain it. He was like, I had that as a kid.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, so like just my daughter, your pop, and my production exec at work.
That's crazy.
But she's expecting to make a full recovery, guys.
Absolutely.
She's gonna have to do physical therapy, occupational therapy, even like speech therapy, to start eating again. They got to teach her how to like swallow and like
right.
Whatever. But yeah, man, it's been tough. It's been tough on the family. Like, before I even get to that part, the treatment for it was like 2 IV bags full of like plasma and white blood cells to actually get your immune system to chill out.
Right.
So, and then hopefully through time you just naturally heal. And that's all they have for the syndrome. It's like, as long as your body not continuing to attack itself, then you on the right path, right? So there's no more blood work or no more MRIs or anything to see if it's working. It will all be shown if she's physically getting stronger and better.
Right.
If she just start walking today, then they would say, oh, she's cured or she's healed. But they say that the occurrence on this happening again is even more rare than catching it the first time.
Yeah, you probably won't. I doubt you.
So catching it twice is like, or having this this autoimmune situation come up again is even more rare. It's not genetic. It's not hereditary. It's just, like I was saying,
by chance, bro.
But you got to think about it. This is probably her first real virus that she was fighting, and her body was just probably like, man, all y'all the bad guys.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
it's
like,
crazy.
So
at least her progress is like fast. Like it's happening in like live. Like it's happening like within like weeks. Days, like you see in progress. Like I said, like we was like, and I don't even know what treatment. I would have to ask my mom. Like I don't even know what treatment they was doing for my dad, but I feel like for months, gang just was laying there, bro, and we just was in there. Like he just was laying there, and we was in there. I don't even know what they was doing. Like we just was in the ICU, just in that joint. I like for a long time, like people just thought like, yo, they was just like trying to make him comfortable until like. He wasn't here no more. Like they never really, you know what it is? Like, how like they could sit, like when you having a conversation with them, like not that they're giving you hard timelines, but you at least got like an estimate, like of when this should happen. Like we ain't have no estimate. Like they wasn't like, yeah, in like 2 weeks he should be able to talk, or like in 2 weeks he could be like, we just was in that joint, like, all right, any day now, like we didn't know what was going. Like all we know was like, oh, his vitals were stable and. That was it.
Bro, like my wife, like I was talking about it there, like this has been extremely tough on my family because if you know us, like we are very independent versus like Like it's just us, you know what I mean? Either I got the kids or she got the kids or we got the kids, right? So like we're stretched in this very thin, like somebody has to always be up there with Osa, and then we have a whole nother kid. You know what I mean? We got Manny at home, and like even like me being a stickler for like, yo, Manny can't come up here while she just laying here with a breathing tube in. Like I
Right.
had to like everybody's like, you gonna send Manny up there? Like no, Manny don't need to see his sister who's younger than him up here practically lifeless on a ventilator.
Right.
You know what I mean? But he came up there once she got off the ventilator and seen her. But he misses his sister. He misses his mom most nights, you know what I mean? Because she stays more nights than I stay. And, like, it's been hard to juggle them. I had an experience where, like, I forget the name of these people in the hospital. I can't think of the name of their job title. But their job is to, like, help you be able to explain what's going on with one kid to the other kid that's not in the hospital.
Right.
And, like, I was just, like you said, being at capacity, like trying to hold it down for myself and my wife and be there for Os. And it was just like, yeah, so this is how you should break it down to tell your kid what's going on with your other kid. And I just got up and walked out. And Varnia just thought I was being rude. I was just like, I was too emotional.
Right.
Like I'd have had a rough night, 4 o'clock in the morning, 12 people in here working on my daughter, putting a tube down her throat, her chest pounding out her chest. You know what I mean? It was it was traumatic for me.
Right. Absolutely.
And I was just at capacity. Now you want to bring me a teddy bear, a stuffed dog, a stuffed animal dog, and the stuffed animal got a breathing tube in it. And this is how you want me to teach my kid
What, bro?
what's going on. The stuffed animal
Bro,
had
what?
an IV
Yeah.
in his paw, and then he had a breathing
Bro.
tube to put, down his throat too. Like, it's crazy.
Bro.
I'm being dead serious. And
Bro,
then
what,
my
bro?
wife was like, you was being rude. Were you being rude? Are you okay? You just got up and left. I was like, I'm
What
at
is
capacity.
this?
I'm at
What is-
capacity.
Gang, what is that though?
I can't even. I'm so sorry that I don't know the department or like the position in the hospital that these people are. I want to say it's
Bro.
like something life or something.
Bro. Alright, yo. Cool.
I'm
man.
gonna take a picture of the bear.
You got the bear with the tube?
Yeah, it's at the crib. It's on the.
Did you describe it to them? Did you show it to him?
Huh?
Did you show it to Manny?
His mom showed it to him. I didn't give it to him. You know, but you.
Yo, I need the first hand takes.
The teddy bear with the breathing tube is nuts.
It's crazy, bro. The teddy bear with the breathing tube is wild.
Yeah, bro. But like, it's been hard trying to juggle both and
Yo.
like keeping his mind occupied and like entertaining him and like still trying to be there and not go through I'll spend more time up here than you. Like it's a very like even like being strong, right? You try to be strong, you're a man, whatever, right? You try to be strong. And it's like I had the night that I say the night is when it all went to pieces. She got
Right.
put on a ventilator, her breathing was out of control. And I think her mom was like, kind of like, now kind of superstitious. Like, I ain't ever trying to leave. 'Cause when I left, it
It went haywire.
yeah. So, but like, I was telling the doctors, I was like, she gonna come in here at an emotional level that's up here, and I'm gonna be forced to have an emotional level that's down here to balance this out. Like, we both can't be.
Right. We both
Up
can't
here.
be emotionally charged.
So, I just, and that sucks, and that's not like that sucks because it was emotional for me too.
Right.
You know what I
facts.
mean? But I know better than to be like, I'm gonna hog up the emotional space because like she gonna be in that space.
Absolutely.
Oh man, you wanna hit on one of these topics?
Listen, man, y'all know what we do, man. We get thoughts on stuff. So a man arranged to meet up with a 12-year-old girl, right? It's crazy. Oh, when he arrived, it was the girl's dad with his dogs, and the man was attacked by the dogs.
So he sicked the dogs on him.
Said the dogs on there. Who let the dogs out? So how you feel about that situation?
Bro, I don't play about none of this stuff, man. I am with it. I would have let the dogs go too. Listen, my thing is though, like, from what's legally wrong and what's morally wrong are two different things.
Is it legally wrong to sick your dogs on somebody?
Is it legally?
Is it a crime?
It's assault. They could like put your dog down for biting people and stuff.
Can't put my dogs down though.
They'll put your dog down for biting somebody, bro. That's a fact.
Damn, that's crazy.
Cause they make you look like a bad owner.
But because it's a predator.
So you saying morally it was right that we took the dogs on it, right? Like
Yeah,
morally,
it gotta be like you can't put my dog down because it gotta be like some like loophole in this situation. So like,
he attacked me. It was self defense.
but right, if I was just about to say that, like if I'm licensed to carry and I shoot somebody in self defense, then I shouldn't go to jail and I should be able to keep my firearm.
Your daughter was in danger, so you were right to sick your dog on somebody.
Yes. I
Oh.
mean, yeah, the threat was imminent.
You know what I'm just thinking? Like, this stuff is becoming more and more normal in our society. It's just, and it's like, that's the problem, bro. Like, and I don't have time to like wait for court justice and all that. Like, I'm not
Right.
real big on that, right? Like, because her danger would have been immediate. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Versus like, oh, he sat for 3 months in jail, then he went to trial. You know what I mean? All this stuff, right? It's just long. If he would have actually met up with my daughter, it would have went down. It would have, you know what I mean?
Facts.
So, yeah, man, I'm just totally against like, yeah, I would have sick the dogs on him too.
Yeah, you just gotta listen, man. You gotta just let it happen.
You know what that it remind me of? I would have Game of Thrones team, bro.
Like what was that? Ramsey?
Ramsey.
Yeah. But
I would've-
but like it's yeah, no, like morally, like yeah, like something, because what's the alternative? Like something else would have been done outside of sicking the dogs on him. Like if Cuz ain't had the dogs, then he would have just had to put hands on him.
Right.
So it's the same. It's kind of like similar premise.
When the law pull up, do they be like, man, let me get some more licks in before we get
I mean, depend on the right cops that pull up, man. Like because like that's just nasty behavior. Like what you doing? Like you trying to meet up with 12-year-olds and all of this stuff. Plus, like you can't, just like you said, like you can leave things in the hands of the justice system. But who's to say like justice prevails? It just might be like, yo, I attempted to meet up with her. Like that might be like a slap on the wrist or something. You might just become like, you might get probation and become like a registered sex offender or something. Like I don't even know what the charge is for the attempted meetup. Like it's not like the meetup wasn't executed upon. So then like, you know, and then when they get in the legal system, they get loopholey and fun. Like once you get around lawyers, they get nasty. They find loopholes to get their clients out of all types of nasty work. So like I gotta get mine first, and then the law gonna do whatever they gonna do. But I gotta let you know, like if you gonna try something like this is what's gonna happen.
Do you think in our society is that because we grew up like that, right? It was like consequences to our actions.
Right.
I feel like we got away from that as we got older. Like people were protected. Like you always talk about, like it's over the internet. There's no consequence to you saying a crazy comment on somebody's picture. It's no. I'm never gonna see you, right?
Right.
So like, I think like, do you feel like we got away from like there are consequences?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you think like when you live in the internet, like you feel like you could just get away with anything. That's why you see a lot of dudes get like punched in the mouth in reality, like in real life when things happen, because like you can't do all of that trolling and all of that stuff. Like I seen a video the other day of like 6ix9ine getting jumped in the bathroom. Not to be talking about 6ix9ine because we don't condone him, but he was getting jumped, getting treated. But if he on the internet, he gonna guarantee gonna be talking crazy, gonna be saying all this fly stuff, talking wild. But eventually, like people say, I'm gonna run into you at some point, and then when I run into you, this is what it's gonna be. Like you knew for a fact that like you was gonna see somebody at some point, so like you kind of moved a little bit differently. Now today with the internet, man, it'd be somebody in Nebraska under your post talking crazy in the comments, like. I'm never gonna see you, so people don't have that fear of, yo, you might run into somebody for saying the wrong thing. You could just say people just think you could say and do and move how you want to move. Whereas though, like we knew for a fact, like yo, you was gonna run into somebody. Like at school, if it was a bully, you knew like I was gonna see this person. Like you see people taking different routes. Like you used to have to take different routes home as a youth, like to avoid certain conflicts. Now. People just do this stuff they do cyberbullying and it's stuff on the internet, and you never see these people and you never run into these people. So then fast forward, translate that to real life. people get so caught up in this internet thing, they think that work outside. And it don't work outside. Outside, somebody gonna see you about something.
These little sexual predators don't think they ever gonna run into these kids' pops.
No, they be thinking I mean, people was doing it then, but now, like, you know what it is with the internet now is more access. Like, now you could reach out to somebody. That's why you be careful with having your kids having access to certain social medias and all of that. Like, they just reach out and they think they be, messaging the kid, and they think the kid gullible and all of this, and they gonna do what they gonna do, not understand that real parents check them Jones. Real parents is in the DMs and they in the messages and they all that. So, like, you run the risk of potentially running into one of them situations, and listen, is this what you was looking for? You know what I'm saying? You was looking for something kinky, and something kinky happened to you.
That's disgusting.
I was just saying, like,
No,
you was
like-
looking for something crazy. Now you out here now you dog food.
He walking up and like he walking up to the situation, and you just be like, you was out here looking for whatever his
Yeah.
daughter name is. Like, no, I was just taking a walk.
What
No, you
kind of
wasn't.
dogs did cuz have?
No, it's a video, bro.
It's a video?
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta show me the video. You see the movie. I gotta see the vid.
We'll
Cuz
take-
had like some pits or something.
Yeah, he had some ferocious.
Oh, he had some joints.
It was two dogs. They had him by like both limbs. Like they had him like they had him stretched. Dogs get to pulling against
Right.
each other, right? And you in the middle.
Hey, you listen.
You know what I mean?
Listen, man. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, man.
Yeah, man. Make sure y'all watching over our kids, man. The predators
What
is out.
cuz said, dog? How much you trying to F around? You said to find out, cuz?
Just mess around and find out.
Listen, man, cuz was finding out at a level of 10.
You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all, man. Osa, get well soon, baby girl.
Absolutely, yes. Prayers up for you.
All right, y'all, man. I'll get with y'all next time, man.
Until next time, we out.
Join the More Than a Dad family by following us on Instagram, subscribing to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to join our Facebook group for daily questions, motivation, dad jokes, and new dad tips. If you enjoy our podcast, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Be sure to like, comment, and share our content with other parents. Last but not least, make sure you check out our new merch. The link is in the bio of our Instagram as well as the description of this YouTube video. We are truly grateful, and thanks for supporting More Than a Dad.
More than a dot, more than a dot.